Welcome back to That Range Life, a show sometimes about golf. This is episode 61, and you know what? It's going to be a golf show today. It is going to be a golf show.
It is going to be a golf show for the most part.
I was a big time golf guy this weekend. We'll get into that. First and foremost, little sip. Do us a favor, guys. Down here, subscribe to the page.
That's right. That's right.
We're posting stuff. We're trying to make a lot of things. You don't see how they come out, right? The unboxing videos, what's in the box, the hit series, what's in the box. People are liking it. Take it off.
It's true, man. It's but like, 3 videos a week, including this one and a unboxing and some other random thing that we do here and there. Not bad.
No,
we got stuff. We got content.
We've got content. Also, you want to keep getting that content, hit the bell, get the notification. All right. And, if you wouldn't mind, just give us a like, thumbs up down here somewhere too. We really appreciate it. If anything, just because, it's good for our self-esteem.
It's true.
We want to see it. All right. Leave a comment on whatever you want to golf related, especially to this show. We love to interact with all of you. Anyway, Chris, how are you, man? You good?
I'm pretty good. I had a pretty decent weekend. Got out and about yesterday, and today was basically just it was a domestic sort of lay around day. Nothing too exciting.
Yeah, nice. I like that. I'm kind of jealous. By kind of, I mean definitely. We're gonna have a little bit of a different gear talk today. We're not gonna talk so much review kind of stuff or anything too bloggy right now, though. If all goes well, it will be a video produced by chrismckeown.com here in the near future. Right. You went and did let's just call it a Mizuno fitting. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's what it was. Basically, it's very unique to the way they do things, and they incorporate some different technologies that really kind of impressed me, to say the least. It was fun.
So we're gonna dive into that, and then just sort of catch up on again these weekends. And I had a lot of projects, both golf and non-golf, taking place over the last few days. So obviously, everybody's here for our conversation. We'll talk about that stuff. See how things are going. Right. All right, buddy. Let's do it. Let's get into gear talk and talk your Mizuno fitting. All right, Chris. I'm just gonna shut my mouth unless you give me something I need to ask a question about. You had a Mizuno fitting. Where was it? How did you get going on it? What drew you to it, etc.? Go. Tell us about it.
So, all right. So, Chris Campbell, who is a rep for Mizuno North America here. He's the local guy, pal of mine. He's the one that I went and got to play Skokie Country Club with end of last season. Had him on the Golf Origin Stories podcast, and he was telling me during the podcast about the way that Mizuno does their fittings. It was pretty interesting, and I was intrigued. And so I said, whenever we can do it, let's try to get together and do it. And the problem was we really couldn't be indoors together. So we had to wait until this new season. And I went back to the site of the first round of 2021. If you haven't seen that, click on the card. So I went back to Cog Hill and met up with Chris. And he kind of explained to me and showed me. And we went through the fitting process. And the way that Mizuno does things, it's pretty fascinating. And they're the only ones that kind of have this technology. They have something called a My DNA Swing Analyzer. So the idea is each of us, we're unique like a snowflake from a golf swing perspective. And they have this little device. It's probably about yay big, and they stick it onto a shaft. And they've even thought about what kind of shaft to put it on so it doesn't mess with the weight of the shaft while you're swinging. So they put it on a graphite shaft to make sure the club still stays relatively balanced. And I took 3 swings with this club and with the analyzer connected to it. And from there, the software kind of just went and did all of the work. So it goes through just from those few swings, it can, I mean, it does all the stuff that you would expect it to do, right? Ball speed and launch and all that kind of stuff. But then it starts to analyze the actual shaft reaction to your swing, and they have some kind of proprietary data that they can pull from this analyzer. And it talks about, you'd love this thing, Bill, because it talks about the kick point of the shaft, and it even measures tempo, which from 1 to 10, Bill, let me ask you a question. 1 to 10, where do you think my tempo sits?
7.
It's pretty close. I was an 8. I averaged out an 8. It's pretty quick. Now, so between that and then the club head speed, what do you think I swing a 7-iron for club head speed?
95 miles an hour.
Little quick. I'm at around 89 to 90 miles an hour. So with this analyzer, it can see what the shaft is doing during my swing. It can measure the speed of my swing. It measures the tempo, and basically what this and in the meantime, so he gets this set of data, and he can understand from the hundreds of shafts that you can put into irons, he can get an idea of like 3 to 5 shafts, basically. So not only are you getting fit at the same time for your irons, for the actual club head, but you're also going to get fit for the correct shaft, all in one thing, all off of 3 swings. And it was crazy. And so we went through the fitting. We tried out some different shafts. We tried out some different iron heads, and basically just kind of went through the fitting process from there, but with far more data than you would get from just even a TrackMan. I mean, we had a TrackMan there, or a flight scope that was measuring stuff, but really all that other data that no one else collects around the shaft and what it's doing and how it's reacting, and it's graphical, and it was just so impressive. And I'm going to create another kind of golf vlog around the entire experience, so you can really kind of see it and get an idea of all these different data points. Because it was a fire hose of data, the way that he was kind of explaining it, and it was just so impressive and so amazing. And so the really funny thing, so we landed on a shaft, right? And okay, so knowing what you know about my swing, tempo, speed, you've played enough golf with me, how many grams of a shaft do you think I should be in? And I'll tell you, I think my gamers right now are like 90 grams. So do you want to guess if I went above or below that number?
Above.
I did. So you put me in like 120 gram shaft. Mm-hmm. And so what does that do, Bill? It completely, not complete, I shouldn't say that, but it changes your ball flight, right? So I have this big kind of, with the gamers I'm playing now, I've got a kind of a very high iron shot, kind of a balloon iron shot. And what the correct shaft does, matched up with the correct iron for my ability, is it creates a more natural piercing flight and straight flight. So my distances stayed relatively consistent. I got a little longer with the maybe 5-10 yards with the different iron head, but the difference was I got that better flight out of the ball that could pierce and get through the wind. It wouldn't get caught up. And then what they do is they actually have another measurement where, and I don't know if anyone else has this or not. I think it's unique to Mizuno. I could be wrong. But the kind of angle that the ball lands on the green or on the ground. And what does that tell you? It tells you whether or not your 7-iron's coming in too hot, or if it's going to come in and hop once and stop. Or at
least not roll a mile.
Yeah, right. So all that within 3 swings. And it's kind of nice because, like I was telling Chris, is we only have so many swings in us, at a time. And for us to spend an hour together, almost primarily, on getting the right equipment in my hands to hit a golf ball, is just, it's so efficient. It's so nice, rather than just banging ball. Like I've been fit for a driver, and you hit a couple with your normal driver, right, to just get some baseline numbers. And then it's just swing after swing after swing after swing and trial after trial and trial and trial. And those guys that do that stuff, they have an idea already of what's going to work and what's not going to work. But I just felt like with this My DNA swing analyzer, it got to the point really, really quick, and you didn't really have to screw around too much. And it really was different than other fittings that I've been in because of that. Just the way that they can measure where that shaft is flexing, where it's kicking, all of that kind of stuff visually, and they have metrics and data to kind of back that up. And then you can start to see it actually happen as they put different shafts. So if I end up going with Mizuno this year, that may be another, maybe we'll do what's in the bag. Bill, if we're big golf guys with a YouTube channel, I think that's a kind of mandatory thing. Didn't we talk about that? Like we have to do.
Yeah, but this is before you were a big time golf guy, where all of a sudden you're going to be Mr. 3 sets of what's in the bag this year.
Right.
I'm not a gear guy.
Well, I mean, I do want to play what's best for me. If that makes me a gear guy, then so be it, mister.
No, you said it, not me. Don't get mad at me.
But anyways, I would be, I just blanked on the shaft now. Whatever brand it is. I want to say maybe Project X, 120 gram shafts with the JPX 921 hot metal. I told you this story already when we were kind of chatting about it. I tried to hit, I didn't try to hit, but he gave me the forge because I was hitting the hot metal really well. And so he gave me the 921 forge and I hit like 3 or 4 balls with him. And he's like, nope, give it back. Give it back.
Yep. No, I had that myself today. I know that feeling.
Yeah, it was not. And, it's one of those things where I could have figured out how I couldn't believe how like different it was. And again, it's around weight and the shaft and the whole thing. And it wasn't a good match for me. We probably could have gone back and forced the issue, but why when I'm hitting the hot metals so well and they're just, the nice little draw with them. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was cool to go through that process and to see it in real life. I would highly recommend it. I think it's pretty cheap. It's maybe be like $40 to go and get, go through that process. But then it's your data. You can go back and use that data that they provide to you to get something else if you want to. I don't know why you would, because it's awesome gear and they're going to build it for you. But yeah, so then the last thing, we can close this thing out, around the bag when they start to build. So when you take those 3 swings, the software takes all that stuff and analyzes all the data that it has. And it does, provide you with, iron shafts and what club head you should be using, but then it goes through the whole bag. So he was walking me through what driver I should use, what driver shaft I should use, what iron shafts I should use, down to wedges. And it does the math for you and actually does, and gives you what degree wedges you should be playing, which was really, really impressive. Without having to hit. I mean, I've been fit for wedges before. You go through and you hit a bunch of them to find your gaps, right? Well, this one kind of gaps it out for you. And basically this 3 swing combined with the analyzer and the software builds your bag for you within minutes, and you can start getting to work and finding out and really fine tuning where that stuff should sit. It was pretty fascinating. And I also learned that, if that I'm probably not using the correct wedges from a degree perspective. So now I have to come to terms with that. Like, obviously I'm there. It's not like I punch in numbers online or something and it spits it back and I have to go find it or whatever, but like it spits out the data. He builds me a couple different irons, right? And I hit them and you see exactly how it reacts to your swing. And then that's a wrap. I mean, it's pretty fascinating. And it's always fun to get fitted. Who doesn't love to get fitted for equipment? But we did shoot some video and that will show up on the YouTube channel at some point here in the near future. So that's my Mizuno. that's my Mizuno spiel. Yeah. So if you guys have questions, you can go and find a retailer or a fitter. They do them all the time. They're just like every other, event at different golf courses or whatever, you can go to Mizuno North America. We'll throw the link in there and you can check it out. If you have any questions on how it works, you can ask me as always. But otherwise, William, that is Gear Talk.
Hey, that was an interesting gear talk for a million reasons, really. One, the content was genuinely good and interesting. Good job, Chris.
Thanks, man. And I was saying, we were talking off camera.
Yeah.
It really is, no matter what. I mean, people talk about, you should get fitted, you should get fitted, you should get fitted. I as a new kind of golf shaft guy, I'm continually impressed by how much the correct shaft makes a difference in your ball striking.
I feel like you probably were like, I'm not telling you I'm going to tolerate him any better, but Bill's making a little more sense to me, and I get where he's coming from when he makes said gripes.
It's true, man. It makes a huge it's crazy. It's crazy. Like even to not just like flight and distance and dispersion and that stuff, but even just through feel. Like when he put
the center, like with this one, I just find the center of the face.
It's
What kills me, and a little anti-fitting here, there is that certain we get this comment a lot, right? With somebody on the websites commenting about a shaft going, "Hey Bill, I'm 75 years old and I hit my driver 185 yards. Is this shaft good for me?" I'm like, dude, I have no idea. And I understand, like, I can hear you giving me a hard time. Like, whoa, don't comment on my site. I don't want to interact with you. Oh. But like, that's one of the things I try to convey. It's like, guys, I'm telling you about my experience, if I liked it or not, but just what your hands do with it is going to be different than me. And I mean, I have that all the time. I go in the graveyard. I have so many golf shafts that are like, oh, this should be perfect for me, and are just trash. And not because they're bad, because we just don't connect. Right. But then it's like, the setup I have in my 3-wood now, I go to Tour Edge, by the way, Tour Edge Exotic 721 fairway wood review coming soon. I go to Tour Edge. I'm hitting the new fairway wood. Okay, but not great. I mean, I'm hitting plenty of really good shots, not really good shots. Had to spend quite a bit of time with it. And I put a different shaft in it when I got home. Things were better. But still, it's like, but I just go to that EXS 223 wood with my Project X hazardous smoke green in it. It just clicks. It just does.
Yeah.
That's me with a VA Drago in my driver shaft. Like it's not necessarily going to be the best, but I know I can play it. Like I know I can hit it and play. Like I'll just find the center of the face and control the ball. I just know I will. Yeah. And that's not a fitting thing, right? That's a testing thing. Sure. But it's not like, I mean, when it is a fitting thing, because they go like, you're hitting this on your data, you're hitting it, more accurate, your dispersion's better. And sometimes it is just cause.
Right.
That's me. That's me with the Nippon iron shafts that I play in my Mioras from Japan. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm totally with you on that. And that's one of the things I do. I'm a big proponent of data fitting, etc. But that X factor of like just does is very real. And
that's why you still hit. That's why you don't just buy them without hitting them. Like you still go through sort of some more fitting, but the data will give you kind of a generic idea. Just like when you write a review of like, this is what it did to me, and this is who I think it's for. It's for like a pretty big sort of, type of or generic type of golfer. It's not for the 70-year-old that's got a swing. You know what I mean? Like it's right. It could be. You should at least try it. That's kind of, what the point of the review is. Like, if you fall within these parameters, you should at least put it on your list. It still may not work perfectly, but at least it's a start.
And it's funny. It's not just like the gear itself. So if you follow us off of the YouTube channel, you might know that I've got a lot of gear in lately, and not enough though. If you're anybody gear people watching this, not enough. I got a lot of work I got to do still. But I got my Tommy Armour III sub 70 iron heads this week, And remember, I've hit them before back, when they were designing them, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, God, they're so smooth, so sweet. Okay. And then I got the new hybrid, and we can talk about that in a little bit if you want. But man, I built the sub 70 TA3 irons over the weekend here. And today I said, my parents had the kids. My wife and I were like, hey, I need to do some testing stuff. It's beautiful out. Let's just go hit some golf balls at a driving range. And we did. I had such a hard time adjusting to these irons. And I'm like, fine. They're new. I'm not used to them, whatever. And they're considered a player's iron. Okay. But I'm like, God, this is bad. I'm hitting a lot of these really, I was hitting some really good ones. Like, oh, okay, these are sick. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, they're not for like what? I don't know what's happening here. And some of them, like, they're just not sitting right to my eye.
Yeah.
Being the big time golf guy that I am.
Right.
I have a full size driving range mat in my garage, and I have a loft lie machine to bend my loft and lie in my irons. So I went through, I looked up what sub 70s stock loft and lie are for the TA3 irons. Shout out their website providing that detail. Thank you, sub 70. And then I looked at like what I use for all my loft and lies with my Muras, my current gamers. Very different according to stock measurements, but I went, let me bend all of these to what I bend my Muras to. And I don't know what it is, but so I would go over to the driving range, man. I can't take full swings in the garage, but it's there. And I'm just putting them on the ground, addressing a ball and going, they look perfect now. They look like totally different golf clubs to me.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Interesting.
Idea if that is, I will know once I go back and play them again and see what happens. How accurate and how good that is for me, but they just look better to my eye.
Yeah.
Just cause. So now it's like, I'm going to feel comfortable swinging the club that much more. That's an X factor thing. It just like, maybe I do need a flatter lie or I don't know, but this looks right to me. I'm going to be better.
Yeah.
That said, I texted Jason Highland. He's like, tell me about the irons. So they are not as forgiving as I remembered yours being. And to be fair, he had a different shaft in him. And he goes, You're forgetting a detail here, though. You have the TA3 grinds on these things. Yours are not the same as the one you hit. And I went, oh, okay. That would make a lot of sense. I have a guy going, again, we had him on the show. He's going for like a vintage Hogan, classic era club.
Right.
They're not forgiving. So I went,
right.
Makes sense. All right. Now that adds up. They do look sweet. And review coming soon. Though saying that, some parts of the review I think will apply to other people. Some are like, hey, I'm sorry, they're just different. Don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Don't forget too, we have to have TA3 back on the show after you've hit them, and you can compare some notes.
It's gonna be embarrassing. Okay, but yeah, we do need to. Yeah, I need to get a little more time with him and not hit off of a mat either, because I have a feeling I'm going to be digging some trenches.
Yeah.
You hear of like when people are like, man, you just took a beaver pelt off this fairway. I'm going to be like, yeah, I just took a whole strip, to resod the course. No big deal.
Right.
Man, so this drive, like, it was awesome going out to drive range today, especially, my wife and I never go and do that together. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Place was it's in Lyle. Let people figure it out themselves, but it was a little shifty of it. I grew up going to this place, but it's very Tin Cup-esque now. There was literally a camper unhitched and set up in the lot with cones like blocking off a parking space for the person's vehicle.
That's awesome.
Cash only business. And I was like, all right, we're here. We're doing it. But man,
right.
I get 2 large buckets. My wife's like, I don't need a large bucket of golf balls. I go, I might need more than that. And this isn't like golf practice. And this is purely testing for reviews. Here's what I was testing for a review today. Sub 70 Tommy Armour the third irons, sub 70 949X hybrid. That thing. Whew.
Yeah. Be very interested to read and hear that review.
You'll get the sneak peek. You don't need to read the review. I'll take the click, but you don't need to read it. I'll tell you about it after the show if you want.
I love to read your words, William.
You're such a liar.
Whether I know the end result or not, I still love to. It's like having just another way to communicate with you.
I
just
wish
reading your words.
I could even remotely believe you saying that. So I had that. I had a new Acura TZ5. I had the new Project X Cypher, and I had the new Project X Hazardous Smoke IM10. And
holy cow, man!
What else?
A busy day.
Yeah, dude. Me and my Mevo. Mevo and me. That's what we'll call it. That's gonna be something where post-COVID we got to make a series of Bill Bush, Mevo and me. Anyway,
we'll work with FlightScope to get that properly sponsored.
Yeah. Mevo and me. Yeah, actually, it's not a joke. I'm going to take that and run with Mevo and me idea and shoot a few emails.
I already have a song. I already have a song in my head that we can record about it.
Hell yeah. By the way, I was thinking about that today. I'm like, I don't mind. I feel, especially as we're in 60 episodes, I feel like our little jingle is synonymous with the show. That's fine. But I was like, you're between Bobby, yourself, and me. There's no reason we shouldn't literally play the instruments and record our own theme song sometime. And I'm like, what would it be? And it'd be something super cheesy. As much as we're like, no, let's make kind of like a cool rock tune. Like, nope. No.
It would be Cars for Kids is what it would be.
Right.
I want that ingrained in your skull after hearing it for 4 seconds.
Yeah, I'm with you. So yeah, I take the Mevo out and I have been down this road and it's really not enjoyable when and I'm also I got a driver close to winning the bag position for this season, so I wanted to do some testing with that. Yeah. And man, you want to talk exhausting, just hammering drivers to test shafts, test the club, whatever. A hybrid, and the irons that were very difficult to hit. Exhausting. Exhausting to the point I'm like, I don't even like this game anymore. It's stupid. I'm gonna go sell driverangeheroes.com to the lowest bidder. Just get rid of it. Hate it. But then, and then especially too, like this isn't the most populated driving range today, which was kind of funny given the weather. And I'm like, I'm that idiot at the end of the range, like just every 3 seconds, like swapping out a shaft. I would say, guys, I'm a low grade website golf reviewer. I don't think I'm making a difference to my game here. Right. But yeah, it was fun.
I don't know which one's worse. Is it worse to be that guy swapping out shafts at the range, or to be website review blog guy?
At least if you're website review blog guy, it makes some sense. You're like,
right. At least you can say like,
you're a huge loser, but I get what you're doing then. Right. As opposed to like, hey, I've seen you hitting that ball over there. You're not that good. Take it easy, swapping out 7 different golf shafts. And you're like, no, I know. I'll tell you what though, everything I hit today. Oh, I left out the new Nippon driver shaft. I had that going too.
Nice.
Yeah, it was exhausting. But it was fun to get a little gear nerdish. And of course, straight home, I went, let me get these irons on the loft fly machine, did a bunch of tweaking. I went, oh, now they look good. And went, these grips in here, I better put new grips on because the ones that were already on the shaft I built were crusty. So I got new grips on them today. I mean, I knew it
out of control.
Well, I knew that was going to have to happen because the shafts I put into them already had grips on them. I'm like, well, let's just see if I even care about this before I start putting new grips on.
Right.
They look so good though. Let me cap that off with, we talked about the JB sub 70 wedges on here already once.
Yeah.
But sure. I have to tell you, the more time I'm spending with those things, they're unreal. And I keep like,
really
$110. And
that's awesome.
In this texting with Highland, I told him that. I said, hey, I got to tell you, man, these the more time I spend with these wedges, I mean, you hit them like, okay, they're good, but the more time I get with them,
yeah,
it's like it feels like you're hitting a balata ball, just ripping a cover off of it. And, just so much grab, and the control is so good and so easy on them. And again, not being a big wedge guy,
right.
it was great. So shout out Sub 70, great stuff. Project X, Nip, man, everything I hit today was pretty impressive. I need to do more work on it and not just be like, oh, new stuff, cool, right?
Right.
But
right.
It was fun, and man, golf gear is in a pretty good spot for a lot of people. Maybe not all the brands right now, but a lot of people. I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to give away like 6 future videos where we have to talk about this stuff.
Right. I mean, that's why you subscribe to the show or subscribe to the channel.
You want to know more about the Sub 70 949X hybrid? You better subscribe and hit the notification bell.
That's right.
All right. Aside from that, as I've been preparing to work on this and writing my little golf blogger heart out, I've discovered I hate all my podcasts I listen to now. And this is a COVID quarantine thing. I hate all my podcasts I listen to.
Okay.
I hate all my music. All my music.
Okay.
And you know how you are with your music. Imagine hating everything you love. Like I can't do it anymore. And it's not like I'm sick of it. It's like,
right.
Just seeing the same thing every day here. Like, I just can't do it. I can't. I mean, it's like if you make the joke, I've gotten to the end of the internet. There's nothing else for me to see. Right. It's like, I've gotten to the end of music, nothing else to listen to, which obviously isn't true, but that's where I'm at. Right. So I go, I just need something that's like sort of soothing and fits a bill. I'm like, I can hear I hear what I want in my head, but I don't know how to find it. As I've mentioned before, I have a SiriusXM subscription. So I went into SiriusXM and I just typed electronic. And I just started going through all the channels, like basically like a contemporary electronic elevator music. I'm like, elevator version. I'm like, that's perfect, man.
Right. So you're listening to Muzak? Is that what you're listening to?
Almost. I mean, it's not, but I want it to be. You know what I mean? Like, it's my music.
Right. Right.
Man, I found this station on SiriusXM called Chill. It's channel 53 if you have SiriusXM. It is so good while I'm sitting at the computer. And know what I've started doing? Listening to my podcast on my phone, sitting on the phone stand right here, and then listening to Chill on my computer.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, all right, Big Time Golf Guys podcast talking gear with just this little quiet undertone of chill electronic music. It's kind of awesome, perfect and good for its purpose. So I'm like, man, I'm digging this channel. I'm going to put it on in my cars, like in the presets. Can't listen to it in the car. I make it like 13 seconds. I go,
oh, really?
No, I can't.
So it's very specific to environment. It's
where you're like, you can feel it's the times where you feel your brain going to mush.
Yeah.
Which if you've been sitting in a working from home scenario for the past year, don't tell me you don't know what I mean.
Right. No, so I can relate.
So good. Speaking of music we do love, though, did you watch the 1 year anniversary of Ben Gibbard at Home?
I saw that he had posted. I haven't watched it yet, though, but I did see it come up, and I'm like, is he doing it again? But it was just a one thing, like a 1 year anniversary.
Same old. Didn't you see where I Chris McEwen'd you on Twitter when he posted it?
Did you?
I did a long time ago. Yeah. Because I wanted you to know. And then I'm like, well, sometimes you just don't reply. So maybe you didn't see. It's possible.
I got people,
I didn't mean Twitter, that shitty, by the way.
Twitter is I can't keep up sometimes.
Do you know what I bet happened?
I apologize. You could have texted me. You have my phone number.
Well, I just added you on Twitter so you'd see it. And same thing I just said, where it's like, oh, I guess he doesn't want to reply. And you'll say, I'm sorry, I was busy living life. And I go, okay, that's what I meant. Sorry.
I genuinely missed that one. I didn't see it. I appreciate the tag, though, because
now that I think
will
about it,
definitely go back and watch it.
I am noticing this where if I don't follow somebody, but they follow me, and because I never used my personal Twitter like socially, I don't follow you. I realized on that because if I see anything from you, it's on at Range Heroes. Check it out. So I wonder if same thing. Like, so people will reply these sub 70 irons. When I posted, I had them. I'm not getting notifications for replies. So I'm wondering, because we're not following on my personal whatever. Maybe you just didn't get the notification. It's possible. It's possible.
That is possible.
Anyway, it was really good. He went back.
Oh, that takes me back to the early days of us, Bill. It really does.
Hey, how dare you? We go back at least 8 months before Ben Gibbard's quarantine rules, but it is weird. The majority of our relationship is COVID.
I've known you for over a year. I've shaken your hand twice.
Nah,
maybe
it's been more than that, but well, yes. We'll say yes.
How many? You're gonna argue with me about how many times? The first time we met, dude, I believe I shook your hand.
I'll remember
in January at the Chicago Golf Show. I believe I shook your hand.
I'll start remembering events that didn't even happen. Like, no, that totally was one time. We even hugged, and I'll be like,
we've never hugged. I can tell you that much.
And I'll be like, I don't even think that actually happened. And by that, I mean, like, Chris and I never met up in Napa.
Right.
Like, Chris and I never went to Sawgrass. All right. This is where my brain is. But
anyways,
Ben Gibbard at home. It's very good. It's a good set.
I gotta watch that.
He talks about, he was trying to put together his set list for this, and he was showing, literally like one of these. He's kept the notebook, the at home stuff, and he's like, I'm giving you guys some of your favorites, some of the stuff I didn't play. But he goes, so I went back and watched a lot of the old episodes, and I didn't realize how bad my coughing was. And I tried to just like power through it forever. He goes, but if in retrospect, I never got tested, I probably had COVID. He goes, I mean, I had the symptoms and everything, and I just didn't think it was that obvious. It was pretty obvious. And I was like, I do remember that. And I said, what's wrong? Ben, you shouldn't be coughing this publicly. People are going to wonder.
Right.
Anyway, if you haven't, check it out. It's very good.
All right. Should we link to Ben Gibbard's YouTube channel?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. We will.
Or Death Cabs, whatever. But
whatever it is. Yeah.
And of course, I'm like, oh my God, I watched every single one of these. I want it back. Whatever, man. Whatever. All right. I feel like this is a good spot to wrap it up. It's been a show.
It has been a show.
We're doing it. We're doing the damn thing as always.
What do you have going on before we close it out? What do you have going on this week on the website on drivingrangeheroes.com?
On Driving Hero Range, we have an Adidas ZG21 review. You might remember the What's in the Box episode.
That's right. Okay, so now we get the next step here and see how they actually perform.
Yep, we have that.
Fit.
I write another Putter Vault blog, taking a look at what's in the Putter Vault of a tour issue Odyssey White Hot XG number 7. It's a great putter.
Ooh, that's.
And I think we teased this, but the exciting conclusion of our Hot Launch 521 reviews, the E521 wedge is up. So,
nice.
Wrapping up the Hot Launch 521 stuff that week. So
just in time for the C721 stuff to kick off.
Yeah. We already have the driver up for that, but I think I have a fairway wood coming soon. What about you, man? What's going on at Goss?
Well, speaking of Tour Edge, the VP of product development, Matt Neely, was on Goss, Golf Origin Stories, last week. Very, very popular episode for, I guess, several reasons. Everyone loves Tour Edge. He goes way back. He's been in the industry for a long time. Came through Adams into Nike Golf to Tour Edge. So we had fun talking about that and reminiscing. And plus, he's an awesome dude.
Yeah, very cool guy.
Yeah. And so that's there. And then as this episode drops for YouTube, I will have had someone named Ben Lyons on the show, and his episode will be live. And if you're wondering who Ben Lyons is, he has so his grandfather and his father. He's got a lineage of columnists from the New York Post and theater and music reviews from New York. That his dad wrote all the reviews for theater and music and movies and things like that. But he has hosted red carpets for the Oscars on ABC, on E! Network. and he just so happens to love golf. So we're going to have him
As
on.
we say, behind the scenes, how did you land him?
I slid into homie's DMs on Instagram.
You just saw like, oh, this is a golf guy?
Yeah, I mean, I've been following him on Instagram for a while because he was a golf guy. He's also involved in the golf collective. Do you know that they work with what's his name? What's the trick shot guy? Rusty.
Can't think of the guy's name. I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah, so they do a lot of stuff with this. They're the creative golf collective, so they manage a lot of kind of the influencers and stuff. And I came across his account a while ago, and I kind of been watching from afar, and then I reached out and I was like, "Hey, dude, do you want to come on the show sometime?" Because he seems awesome. He's a huge sports fan, so
cool.
Gonna have him on, and we'll have the episode drop this week.
All right, hey, check it out.
We have some pretty fun guests coming up. I know I've been kind of in the industry a little bit, but we've got some guys that. And before I mentioned this to you, but I think this morning I was on ESPN Seattle co-hosting a golf show with another former guest of the Golf Origin Stories podcast, Sean Crew. Her and I co-hosted this morning. So you can go and find that I'll put the link down in the thing, but you can hear me co-host a radio show on ESPN.
Shoot us straight. How'd it go? Were you like, I'm definitely a podcaster, not a radio guy? Or were you like, it's the same thing? Tell me about it. It
felt pretty similar. And plus it was with like, if it's with someone I know and I'm friends with. So it's pretty natural, pretty easy.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's pretty neat.
It's pretty fun. I'm going to be on ESPN radio, man, in Seattle. That's right. That's right.
All right. Hey, if you're still watching this show, don't forget, go to secondcitygolf.com. That's not .com. That is not 2ND. That is SECOND citygolf.com. Here's why. We have that Range Life merchandise, like hats, shirts. I think a lot of it is in stock. Some of it is not. There's some really cool lightweight hoodies. Just saying, you might want to check those out. We have Driving Range Heroes gear, Chris McEwen, .com media, whatever he's going by now on his not YouTube stuff. Golf Origin Stories for sure. The best shirts on the site are Golf Origin Stories. We got our buddy Adam Unfiltered there. Some great Golf Unfiltered gear. Check that out. Do us that favor. We're learning with the thing. Don't worry. No one's going to get screwed. No one's going to.
Hey, your buddy got his money back.
I know.
Your buddy got his money back. So,
and he's like, hey, he gave me some like feedback on another golf site and buying something. I'm like, listen, I don't know how they did that. That's all I can say to you. He's like, oh, but you guys should do something. Like, yeah, we should. I don't know how.
Right.
I am not an online merchant.
Right.
And I don't want to be. Right. And this guy actually for a long time was nagging me about like getting into making sure we have merch. I'm like, I can't tell you like how much I don't want to. And this is exactly why. Anyway, go to the store. Usually it's fine. The stuff's great. White bucket hats are back in stock. I still got to order mine. I need to order.
We should make well, you've got the stuff already. I need to put an order in for like we have to start wearing the stuff on the show, man. I mean, what are we doing?
Dude.
What are we doing? You can't even see it.
Well, don't get me started. I was going to wear the hat, but I didn't want to get the Adam Unfiltered double logo problem. We have this guy right here.
Well, we're on the show. I mean, we should be able to get away with that, I feel like.
Winter hats.
There you go. Little beanies just in time for the summer.
Just in time for this. Hey, if you're in Chicago.
You can wear them ironically.
If you're in Chicago, you still have about 3 months where you need one of these. So pick them up. But yeah, that's it. All right. I'm Bill Bush.
End this thing.
DriveRangeHeroes.com, at Range Heroes on the social medias. He's Chris McEwen, at Chris McEwen, everywhere. Search for it. You'll find him.
It's true.
Until next week, everybody. Hey, start getting out to the driving range and you become your own driving range hero. We'll talk to you next week.